Char Sieu tofu. Crab rangoon. I made some pineapple dipping sauce, sweet and sour and spicy. Whoops. That's cheesy. And I have pickled radish. I wanted to talk about how my husband proposed. My husband's had never been to Paris. I decided to organize a trip for us to go to Paris. So I researched hotels and I found this hotel called Hotel Henri IV. It's on Île de la Cité, which is like the little island in Paris. Tiny little island. One of two. The other one is Saint Louis. But we stayed on Île de la Cité, which is the same island that Notre Dame is on. And back then, it was a tiny, like, hole-in-the-wall hotel. And the lady, she was an older woman. She only accepted checks. Checks in euro. And at the time I didn't have a bank account that could send a check. So I had to call my cousin. Who is French. So she could send a check for me in euro. And she was just like, a hotel that doesn't like accept credit cards? Like, is this a scam? So she's like, I'm gonna call them. And I knew that it was like legit because the websites and people recommending Hotel Henri IV said it was legit. It was just a little old lady who ran things like old school. Because it was only like €30, which at the time was like $40 a night in the center of town. It's the best location for the cheapest price, overlooking a beautiful park called Place Dauphine. Cute little place. It was perfect. So I organized a week in Paris, and then about 3 days in Dublin because the flights were cheaper out of Dublin. And at the time we were kind of poor. So I had every single day planned out. I was really, really excited about showing my husband around Paris because I'd been there when I was a teenager. So on the very first day I wanted to go and check out the Eiffel Tower because it sparkles at night. And according to him, he said that I pushed him to propose earlier than he had planned because he wanted to save the Eiffel Tower for the last night that we were there. He wanted to wait 5 days before seeing the Eiffel Tower and then propose. But I wanted to see it immediately. He says it's my fault. So we happened to just be walking around, and by chance we were walking on this pedestrian bridge. It doesn't have cars. It's a wooden, rickety old, not old, but kind of old, antique bridge called Passerelle de Billy. And we weren't planning on going that way at all, but we were traveling with a tripod so that we could take pictures of ourselves. He got down to his backpack to take out the tripod from his backpack. And then I was admiring the sparkling Eiffel Tower. But then when he looked up at me, he had the ring in his hand. Looking up at me, asking for my hand in marriage. It was really sweet. Months before, he was trying to figure out my ring size. And I distinctly remembering being at H&M with him. And he was just telling me like, "Oh, get a ring, get the ring, get it." And usually he never encourages me to buy things because he always tells me I have enough. But I thought it was kind of funny. But I picked this ring out that fit my middle finger. So when he gave me my ring, it was so humongous. Because it fits my middle finger, it doesn't fit my ring finger. But the gesture was so sweet that he had been planning it for months to get it right. I've since gained weight, so that's why it doesn't fit my finger anymore. I have to get it resized. But in Paris, it was such a beautiful trip. We went to Versailles. We walked around the entire palace, where Marie Antoinette kept her sheep. And she lived in a separate cottage, not the actual palace. She was just a child, a teenager. When she was married off to her king, the French king. This like Austrian little princess who didn't even speak French. Being shipped off and married off to some adult in France. It's crazy. I felt bad for her. We took so many photos of the gardens. There were so many tree-lined streets and dirt roads. It was really quaint. And we went to Le Marais, which is like an old district where you can find a lot of falafel. It's a Jewish neighborhood. And more recently, a gay neighborhood. It's really, really fun. Good restaurants. We ate falafel at Las du Falafel. And we ate it in Place des Vosges, which is like a immaculate square with a park in the center and fountains. Really perfect for a picnic. I was super nervous though. I was nervous because we were still young. And we didn't really have we didn't really know what we were doing. But I'm glad that he proposed the way he did. We were really young. And we just took a risk. Whenever we go back to Paris, We always visit our bridge. And then on the next city trip, onto the next city, we went to Dublin. And we went to the Guinness tour. It's a brewery tour. They show you how you make the beer. And they have this amazing 360 view. There's a bar on top. And it has windows, floor to ceiling windows. We're giving you a spectacular view of down Dublin. I was really hoping I would see you two, but it didn't happen. That's like everyone coming to LA expecting to see a celebrity. Mm. Thanks for listening to my story on how my husband and I got engaged.